at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. Christian Yelich and the Milwaukee Brewers are on fire. Yesterday, Christian Yelich was named the NL Player of the Week for his performance last week, and after returning to the lineup last night, he extended his hitting streak to 9 games with a bomb of epic proportions.
3-2 to Yelich. Breaking ball hammered deep into center field. Friedel's going back, turning at the warning track, watching it sail at the wall. It's way out of here. Man, Christian Yelich just keeps on doing it. That was a bomb of epic proportions off the batter's eye in center field in Cincinnati.
The Brew Crew look to extend their winning streak to 9 games tonight as they take on the Cincinnati Reds. Coverage starts at 5:34. First pitch at 6:10, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team in 2025 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
Pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
and then Contrarian.
Total. Yeah.
Jim Rutledge here.
It's Mer.
I'm the problem. It's
Mister.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I am Jim Rutledge. I have the power. I'm in the Everlight Solar Studio alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown. Primetime will shine behind the glass. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. You can stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Matt Hamilton dancing around in his Brewers shirt as the Brewers have now won 8 in a row.
Let's go.
They're going streaking. He did not get the memo that it is Red Day here in the Everlight Solar Studios. Molly Brown is wearing her Badger volleyball Bill Belichick hoodie.
And glowing.
Glowing, yes.
Thank you.
Stunning. Why don't you tell us why you're glowing?
Well, you guys, as I have been building up the hype for this, I went to Carbon World Health today. I got my hydrofacial. Can you notice a difference?
I mean, you look
I can't even look
super
your direction.
hydrated.
Oh my
Because
God!
you're
Thank
just
you.
glistening. It's like a diamond over there.
I'm
we
just
turning the lights
blinding.
down in here.
Right.
What's shinier, my face or Jim's head? I mean, I don't know, but it was
that's
amazing,
fair,
you
yeah.
guys. I don't know how to like properly explain this, but they strip away all the gross stuff off my skin and then put in all the good stuff.
Nice.
That's basically what they do for hydrofacial, and now my skin is just glowing. So
And
we'll see how it looks in the next couple days too.
It was also augmented by some light therapy.
Oh yes, I did get some red light therapy.
With
Maybe
your
Ryan.
approval, I
Can we
would
share
love to
that
post
on the
that
ESPN?
photo.
For sure.
All right,
We
so-
can for sure. I took a picture.
There it
Ryan
is.
thought it was a doll. It is kind of creepy looking.
It
but
is
hey,
so creepy.
if it's gonna get rid of your wrinkles, if it's gonna make your skin less red, give it to me.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Thank you
It
for my
helps
nightmare.
with inflammation as well.
Yep.
Thank
yeah.
you for my nightmare tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
When
welcome.
I wake up and like that image is burned into my eyes, and I wake up in a cold sweat, I'll know why.
Thanks,
And then
Molly Brown.
we need to shout
The new
out.
Prairie
I got that.
Creek Hunter.
I was gonna say I actually got that mask from Ryan's closet. So
Hey, that was the joke I made. You don't get to take credit for that, okay? I made that joke to you an hour ago.
But
Weird. Molly plagiarizing something.
Oh,
Surprise,
what do
surprise.
you know?
that was the first time. That was the only time I've ever done that. Maybe.
also, shout out to Ryan because Ryan is wearing, maybe not doing much to help his serial killer status here. Is
Yeah, the aesthetic is like old T-shirt. It looks like you took that off one of your victims. It's a cool shirt.
What?
Hold on. What?
all right. The shirt he is wearing says UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs, and that is a shirt from a famous movie.
Yes.
I was going to let you give your own props
Well,
for it.
I kind of want to see if Molly could guess it again. 'cause
We
he took her
already-
on
We already told you
did
about
we
it.
already tell her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already
Pulp
mentioned
Fiction,
it
you
when I was
guys.
out in the...
Okay, yeah. So it is a Pulp Fiction style T-shirt, the one that John Travolta's character Vincent wears after he gets too much blood on his nice black suit. He ends up changing into Quentin Tarantino's character's T-shirt, the UC Santa Cruz Banana Slugs style shirt. Very classic.
Where do you
vintage
get that
t-shirt.
from?
It's on a website that I buy a lot of vintage
Okay.
T-shirts from.
It's a good shirt.
It's a great shirt.
Shout out
Vintage
to
victims, it's all the same. Hand me down, essentially, Molly.
or hand me off.
What?
Let me cut that off of you.
Yeah, there you go.
So they handed it down, they cut the hand off. Good old murder jokes.
Yeah, no, I actually just found this shirt in my freezer is what it was.
All right, Jeffrey. All righty. So the poll question we had yesterday, our siding limited poll question, was who needs to improve more next season, Jordan Love or Packers wide receivers? 36% of you said Jordan Love. 64% of you said Packers wide receivers. Now, I'm not saying that we are innovators, but we've been talking about the Jordan Love doesn't need to improve angle, I think, since last Friday. Mm-hmm. And we did it yesterday, and now we are doing it again today. But getting in on the party, it was unsportsmanlike, and they were talking about Jordan Love's alleged regression this morning on Unsportsmanlike. And let's hear first from the positive side of things. Michelle Smallman pushes back on Jordan Love regression narrative.
Look at it, you could say, well, we expected him to be so much better and take this huge step forward the next year, and he didn't, and that's underwhelming. And they were one and done in the playoffs to the eventual Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. However, he did win 2 more games than he did the year prior, and he was battling that injury all season long, which really lent itself to that inconsistency that we saw. Does he need to be better next year? Absolutely, but I don't think it's cause to ring the alarms when it comes to a big Jordan Love regression last season.
So I replied to this, as you know I would do. Jordan Love did not win 11 games last year.
That's where you're going.
He won 9.
Take that for data.
That's worth noting because that is factual. And then she doesn't do a great job of really defending him. She gives reasons why he regressed, but she doesn't really give a statement that he didn't regress. I agree there's no reason to sound the alarm. I said in my reply, I think he stayed the same. Which, look, if you're not getting better, you're going backwards. But I think he was essentially the same quarterback, which is what I predicted, Matt. You know that at the start of the season, I thought he was going to be the same guy last year as he was the year prior. And I think this upcoming year, he's not going to be dramatically different. I think Jordan Love is who he is a good quarterback who sometimes can have elite games that you can win a Super Bowl with. But I don't think he is one who's going to put you on your shoulders, Aaron Rodgers style, and carry you deeper into the playoffs and make you feel like you always have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I think with a really good team, you can win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love, but he's not going to be Aaron Rodgers level.
So Michelle Smallman did go a little deeper into her rationale. I want to provide the rest of the context for a clip. That was the shortened version that I had trimmed up. I know Matt loves those shortened versions without the full context.
Yep.
Let's hear full context from Michelle Smallman now.
I think that the notion that Jordan Love regressed is based on the way he ended the season prior. And by that, I mean that final 8-game stretch. He had 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. And then we all remember they went into Dallas and absolutely destroyed the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs and went toe-to-toe with San Francisco. So based on the way that Jordan Love ended the season and into the playoffs, we all thought he could be in the MVP conversation next year. And that obviously didn't happen when after that first game, he sprained his MCL. And even when he came back, he was still dealing with the residue from that.
Which I don't disagree with what she's saying. But again,
I do like how she framed it. I was like, because I'll say, oh, the last 8 games were pretty good. And then you start nitpicking it. I like, she's like, the last 8 games are good. 18 touchdowns to 1 pick. That's a stat line that's hard to argue with.
Right. But that's
agreed.
Go look at the Giants game.
Oh, 100%.
Or the Carolina game.
100%. No, don't disagree that they weren't all on the same level. But like through a time span, when you throw out a stat line like that, 18 to 1, like every team across the NFL is taking that. So, like if your quarterback's going to do that in 18 or 8 games, you take that stat line.
So let me ask both of you this, and Michelle's not here, so I can't ask her. We are approaching the line that was the aberration. Like that was
year 1 as a starter.
That
well,
8-game stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that was the outlier. That
Can we also say the first 6 was an outlier then? Because he was pretty.
Well, he was good for the first couple games.
Okay,
Then he
so
fell
the
off.
middle, the like there was
October was brutal.
Yeah,
That's what I
that
remember.
month.
Yes.
But he started well, and then he fell. Then the wheels fell off, and then he got the wheels back on.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just say more. Forget all of that year. I think the leveling year was last year, and I think this year he'll be incrementally better in counting stats because he'll play all the way through, and he'll be healthier. But again, incrementally better. The 66% completion percentage, still throwing double-digit touchdown or interceptions. So like, that is good. That's not great. That's not elite, but you can win the division with that, and then you make the playoffs. And if you have Josh Jacobs, and if Matthew Golden's the number one, or Jeff Hafley creates a defense that repeats as a top 5 defense or can get to a top 5, you can still go to the Super Bowl. I just don't think you're going to be perennially going to the Super Bowl and feel like you have a chance to go to the Super Bowl because of Jordan Love. I'm not saying the Packers won't be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it might not be because of Jordan Love. So I'll ask you, Matt, you can reply, but Molly, I'll ask you, was at some point we have to acknowledge the 8-game 18-1 touchdown interception ratio specifically was the outlier.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think it's beginning to get there. I think that's why we always talk about year 3 as a starter. That's why Matt is willing to move his goalposts to year 3, right? That this is the year.
Can I was watching the Enigma, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, boy, yeah.
The year 2, Aaron Rodgers, as a starter, he went from 63.6% completion percentage, 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 6-10, to 65%, 4,434 yards, completion, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And then in year 3, they went to the Super Bowl. So, like, Aaron Rodgers did not dip.
He did not have that sophomore slump, so to speak.
Neither did Pat Mahomes, neither did most. Like, I went through, like, some of the great quarterbacks.
So most elite quarterbacks, if we want to say, like, good, great, elite, like, that's the level.
They rise. They don't flatten. They rise.
I think what this all comes down to, guys, and hear me out, I think it's literally he's a guy. He's not the guy. I think Aaron Rodgers was the guy that, like you were saying, Aaron Rodgers, you could put the team on his back. He could go win it for you. Jordan Love is not that guy. Jordan Love is just a guy. He's good. He's fine. I'm at the point where he's fine. I don't know what you guys define him as, but he's fine for me. Like, he'll get better, I think. But when I say better, I even mean just he'll be more consistent moving forward. And to me, that's not a sign of a great quarterback, and that's not a sign of being the guy.
Yeah. So the scale I have, Matt, and then you can hop in here, is like fine would be more of like Caleb Williams. Like his rookie year was fine. I would put Jordan Love in the good category. The great would be, I'm sorry, like Jared Goff, because he's gone to a Super Bowl.
He's been great the last 2 seasons for sure, and then obviously a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, but also I think that's honestly the last 3. Like he's been putting up numbers with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's not there. Like it can be year to year for some of these guys, and then the elite, there's a few: Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
like that, and that's it. And so I would put Jordan Love in the good category. I guess I got to put Jalen Hurts there. Again, the great to me can go, and this is where Jordan could kick into the great and fall back down to good. I don't think he's ever going to fall into the fine as far as my scale, but I don't know how often he'll be in the elite.
Well, to your point, I'm gonna quote Jim here. This goes way back, maybe even to the jump around days when I was joining twice a week for fun. Jim used to say Aaron Rodgers is reason 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the Packers winning games. Mm-hmm. Jordan Love is going to be one of those 5, but he's not going to be all those 5.
Yeah,
he's going to need all the other pieces around, and that's kind of Jim's point. Is instead of like Aaron Rodgers, who he is the puzzle, he is every piece of that puzzle when he was on the Packers. Jordan Love is a piece of the puzzle, and he needs every other piece to connect perfectly for the bigger picture, that Super Bowl picture, to come to fruition. So I totally agree with that. At this point in Jordan Love's career, is there a lot of signs that are pointing to massive jumps? No. Doesn't mean it can't happen. But like Jim said, a lot of the greats don't flatline. They continue to rise until they hit the elite level, and then they're flatline because they're already at the top.
So we have a couple texts coming in, 844-770-3776. That's Carbos Talking text line. This is more. TJ from the road chimes in. It would be interesting to know how many of the wide receiver drops last year that killed drives really impacted the stats and the overall team production. TJ, yesterday we've addressed it twice now.
Well, I think what he's saying is, like, if it was a 3rd and 4 and there was a drop, like, we don't know how many what that leads to.
Right, but again, when you look at the overall context of numbers, that
it wasn't that big of an impact.
Right, because the Packers' offense is boom or bust. Over the last few years, he's not a check down third and fourth throw to the 4-yard guy. He's not a running QB. That was from Robert Mason, The Athletic. We played that audio. And then the Pro Football Focus stats about him being 19th in the league with adjusted completion percentage just tells me that it was not dramatically worse than any other quarterback had to deal with. Because if you are 19th in the league in adjusted completion percentage, you are not dramatically being affected by throwaways.
But we can agree it was more. It wasn't dramatic. Like, Jordan Love definitely had the most wide receiver drops in the NFL last season.
The Jets.
Tied for it, yeah.
Tied for it.
Yes.
So I'm not I'm agreeing with you. It's not drastic.
1.2% worse than league average.
I mean, 1% of. Okay, you're right. It wasn't drastic. I'm agreeing it wasn't
Justin
drastic.
Herbert, Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels all had a lot of drops, and they didn't have these problems. Like other outside of Aaron Rodgers, and I'll call elite, and then whoever's quarterback in the Giants, the other quarterbacks within a couple drops of him were all Pro Bowl MVP candidates. So again, they dealt with drops and got through it. Jordan did not. And then the other part is, Donnie DeForest points in, I really think people should stop talking up how the Packers made the playoffs last 2 years because they've been a 7 seed, which didn't exist a few years ago. And I get what he's saying. I think it's worth noting, and we kind of kicked this around as a topic, and I think we can get into this with KBN. Brad Nortman talking about having NFC Championship expectations for the Packers and Jordan Love. I think that's too high. 844-770-3776. Do you think NFC Championship expectations for the Packers this year is too high? I do. And we could talk about it on the other side, but I want to tell you why Canopy Wealth Management. Their team is committed to providing care, competence, and clarity to help their clients with all of their financial planning and wealth management needs. At Canopy, they have years of experience, which has prepared them to guide you through life transitions. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on a financial journey today. That's canopy-wealth.com. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team for the 3rd year in a row. Vote every day this month at MadisonMagazine.com.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leine's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy. Hey, Matt Hamilton here to tell you about the delicious Odyssey Brands, a family-owned company crafting award-winning cheese right here in Wisconsin for over 4 generations. Made with locally sourced milk, Odyssey brings bold, Greek-style flavors straight to your table. From savory, crumbly feta to rich and creamy Greek yogurt, every bite is a taste of tradition and quality. You can find Odyssey products at most major retailers nationwide and online. Odyssey, crafted in Wisconsin, loved everywhere, dairy done right.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Wisconsin recently upgraded their document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Adam Wallace, VFW State Adjutant.
Our representative ensured that we had what was right for us, for our needs, and for our budget, and I thought it was a very good interaction.
That's a good thing to have James Imaging Systems as your local business technology partner?
Absolutely. We want people that are going to support what we want to do in supporting veterans, and if that means spending less on our imaging and technology costs, that's more that we can spend on our programs.
And that's a really good thing. Adam, any advice to other businesses out there?
I would say to go with James Imaging.
Because?
Because they are a partner and they give great customer service and the prices are right.
Great document imaging technology, great service, great value. From James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen 1 too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This Father's Day, help Dad be all he can be with a gift from the Home Depot, because he's not just Dad, he's the handyman of the house, the plumber in a pinch, and the emergency mechanic. Upgrade his gear this Father's Day with the Husky Mechanics 270-piece tool set from the Home Depot. Now on special buy for $119, a $695 value. For every kind of dad, find the perfect gift this Father's Day at the Home Depot.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the belt line at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
Siding Unlimited recently installed 20 brand new amazing energy efficient windows. Our Siding Unlimited crew removed the old windows, inspected the wall for wood rot, installed the new beautiful windows, and cleaned up behind ourselves. It was easy to get started. The homeowner met us at our amazing showroom on 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. Trust me, our showroom is a must-see. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit us at sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Ain't shady, baby, I'm hot, like the prodigal son.
Jim and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. Primetime war shine behind the glass. You can get into the show 844-770-3776. That's the Carbos Talking text line. This is more. And I want to get to our Siding Unlimited poll question, but I want to set it up a little bit better. Brad Nortman from KBN. And that show in general. And I understand, like, they're very pro-Packer, very positive. And I understand wanting to, like, be super excited about your team. And this is the nature of every different fan and fan base. Like, for me specifically, like, for the Bears this year, I am looking for them. Like, I want 8 wins. I would love 10. And that's kind of my window there. Mm-hmm. And I want Caleb to have not the counting stats, because the counting stats were fine, but they're misleading. I want him to be a more efficient QB. So, like, and that's EPA, which you might get into a little bit with Dan Orlovsky. A big way to have a high EPA and a high QBR is don't take sacks. So, like, if Caleb Williams just gets the ball out of his hands faster, that will skyrocket for him, and then the Bears will look more efficient. So, for me, I just want Caleb Williams to have a positive EPA and the Bears to win between 8 and 10 games. Do I have, like, in my dreams, hopes of them being the team that turns it around and shocks the world? Yeah, but I don't set that as expectation. Donnie DeForest brought up on the Talk and Text line, basically like, hey, yeah, you're in the playoffs, but you've been the last team in the last 2 years in the NFC North. And I, for one, think every team, and this includes my lowly Bears, every team in the NFC North looks better than they were last year because they played the AFC South, which was the one with the Colts. What is that, the AFC South with the Colts? Yeah, Colts and Titans, like a trash division. Like, you were just give me some wins. So I feel like, including the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers, the Bears, I don't know who they won that. Like,
didn't the Vikings almost lose to the Colts?
Yeah, they might have.
Like a 30-point deficit overcome by the Vikings. To win that
but my point is that, like, those are, I think, a little bit empty calories there. So all of the teams in the NFC North, not just the Packers. So I think they all have inflated wins. So I don't think any team from the NFC North is going to the Super Bowl, or let alone, I don't even know the NFC Championship game. But I want to hear Brad, because I think he represents a lot of high hopes for Packers when I think, like, hey, maybe win the division would be the first step under Jordan Love and LaFleur together.
So we're talking about a top 7, a top 6 quarterback in the NFL, something that he can do. And as far as how far he goes, an NFC Championship game. It's time. It's time to make a swing. Just winning one game in the wild card round and going to the divisional round, it's not good enough anymore. This team's got to take a next step forward. He's capable. He's ready. Got to be in the NFC Championship game. He does that. That's 30 touchdowns, 30 or more. 7 or less interceptions, 4,000 yards, and NFC Championship game. Right there. We're looking at Jordan Love saying, it's not if. the time is now. Jordan Love is that bona fide franchise quarterback. He's clearly in the top 6 quarterbacks of the NFL, and the Green Bay Packer future is bright.
And that's what he's saying he wants to happen or will
That's
happen?
what he's saying. If Jordan Love were to go out and do that, he would establish himself as a top 6 QB.
Right.
Go to the NFC Championship game, at least 30 touchdowns, 7 or less interceptions.
So you think established as 5th in QBR is not top 6 in the NFL?
5th in QBR each of the past 2 seasons.
Would any of you call him top 5 QB?
Per Dan Orlovsky.
No, I wouldn't.
So-
I do think I don't know how QBR works.
Sacks are a big part of it, so he doesn't take a lot of sacks. So
Right.
that gets you
because
QB higher.
he's fit.
So what goes
He was
into
ahead-
it then?
He was ahead of Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes last year. The players that were ahead of him in QBR were Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels.
It's a lot of efficiency because in no world are you calling Patrick Mahomes not as good as.
Oh, 100%.
So,
I totally agree with that.
So the QBR stuff, the traditional stats in general. Honestly, if you truly want to get into QB play, it's just not easy to talk about on the air. It's like the EPA stuff of like expected points added, and whether it's as a passer, as a runner, all those sorts of things. And then you also have to account for your play caller. LaFleur is a great play caller. You also have Josh Jacobs, which then helps make his life easier. There's a lot of things that go into quarterbacking. For me,
He was 16th in EPA last year.
so mid.
Yep.
And so,
Exactly.
And yes,
more mid than Dak Prescott.
Take that for data.
so when I look at Jordan Love, I say like, can he be league average in completion percentage and throw less than 10 interceptions? Like that would be a fair, like that to me is a fair expectation for him, which would show improvement.
Yep.
And like, can the Packers win the division? Which means don't go 1-5 in the NFC North. Let's not sleep on that. They went 1-5 in the NFC North, and Jordan Love against NFC North opponents was the worst quarterback in the division when you account for completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, and interceptions. He was his stat line in NFC North games against NFC North opponents was worse than any quarterback in the NFC North against other NFC North opponents, and he was 1-5. The same as the lowly Bears and Caleb Williams. That is not the indicator that says he's going to be top 5 next year and NFC Championship game. I'm not saying he can't get there. I'm saying that if I'm a fan, and I guess everyone's different, I'm setting an expectation of like, hey, how about we don't have a losing record in the division and win the division title and not get our asses owned by Detroit every year?
I think even getting the division title is far-fetched. Like, I don't see that happening for the Packers.
I think Detroit with Ragnow.
It's less far-fetched than the NFC Championship game.
Less far-fetched than that, but I mean, to me, and I know that we love to say that I'm a pessimistic or realist Packer fan, whatever you want to call it.
Pessimist.
Okay,
Okay.
I'd be good with them getting to the second round of the playoffs, and that's it.
Divisional round? That's a successful season?
To me, yeah.
So it doesn't matter
Getting
if they
out
win
of
the
the
division
first
or
round.
not.
So that means...
I mean, would I love for that to happen? Of course. But to me, it's like I'm guarding my heart, essentially, by saying
that
they're
means
not
winning a
going
playoff game on the road, because you're saying if they don't win the division, they're not going to have home games, so
Yep.
they're winning a playoff game on the road. I mean, we've seen how that goes. We've seen that movie with Jordan Love in his first year as a starter.
Against Dallas, though. I mean,
Well,
I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
Like,
Still another playoff team.
No, I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
Like, Packer fans love to talk about how trashy Dallas is, and then when they beat Dallas, like, but Dallas is good. Like, so that's all. I was just having a little fun with that. But like,
The
Dak
quarterback's
Prescott-
mid, but their players
Dak
are good.
Prescott's mid, and like Jerry Jones is a terrible owner, but like beating them was a really
But
big
CeeDee
deal.
Lamb's legit, and I for some reason I'm spacing on their pass rusher that's elite.
Micah
Micah
Parsons,
Parsons,
yeah.
yeah.
Go.
So
He's very good.
I just had a little fun with that. I just think that winning the division, I think the NFC North, I think the team that wins it will still probably be Detroit. I know they lost their starting center and they lost both their coordinators, but they were coming at such a high level above specifically the Packers, so that I think they're going to come back down to earth and be like 11-12 wins. I think Green Bay is in that 9-11 wins window. Minnesota is really hard. I think they have the best roster and the best coaching staff in the NFC North. The quarterback is the wild card.
Biggest question mark.
If JJ McCarthy, like we saw last year, Sam Darnold was kind of just a game manager. If JJ McCarthy can go out and just be a game manager by the end of the year, like they could have a finish to their year that looks similar to how the Packers finished their first season with Jordan Love as a starting QB.
And let us not forget that Kevin O'Connell is a great coach.
Yeah, I mean, we've
think
never
he's-
seen
That's just one
Darnold,
coach of the year.
We've never seen Darnold play that good his entire career.
No,
That was
I think that Kevin
Darnold's-
O'Connell is literally a quarterback whisperer.
And you have to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's not letting, and their GM obviously knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
They're not letting Darnold walk with no real backup plan outside of J.J. McCarthy. They brought in a QB late.
They did. Who did they bring in?
The Vikings, they brought in not Daniel Jones. He signed with the Colts.
They did bring him in at the end of
They
last
did,
year.
yes.
I'm
But-
looking up their depth chart right now.
Because it was
saying
funny
late this
because they chose that
offseason, or-
QB. Yeah, they chose that
Oh,
QB
Sam
over Aaron
Howell.
Rodgers. Sam Howell
Yep.
from Washington. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's where he came from, but
Brett Rippon.
No,
the guy
I
who
think
got
Howell-
fired
I
after
think Howell
the
came
Packers
from
beat
Seattle.
them.
But
Yes.
he was at Washington first.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
Seattle. So, anyways, like that, they're not. You got to give O'Connell the benefit of the doubt since he sees in J.J. McCarthy a guy who, at bare minimum, can be what Sam Darnold was last year. And Sam Darnold, in the end, what turned out to not be the guy because in the big games he turned into Kirk Cousins.
They also lost a good chunk of their offensive line, I believe, too.
They did. So, and then Chicago, They're not in play to win the division outside of a miracle. So, like, they're more of like, I think they're gonna split. Like, I think they're just gonna make life tougher for teams in the NFC North. They might win 8 games. I'm not expecting them to go from 5 to division title. That's a massive jump. But going from 5 to 8 and being respectable is a fair jump. So, I think the NFC North doesn't have a Super Bowl or even an NFC championship game team in it, but I think they have 3 playoff teams. Packers being one of them.
I hope you're right.
844-770-3776.
You won the Super Bowl.
Is the NFC Championship game expectations too high for the Packers? That's our siding limited poll question. 844-770-3776. That's the Carbons Talking text line. List is more.
Yes. That is too high. I'm
correct.
Right, yeah. I had no expectation for the Packers to do what they did at Jordan Love's first year as a starter. Like,
that year had to be so fun compared to last year.
It was. I had high hopes. Well, it was
I don't
much
know
more
about
of a
the year.
I don't know if the year itself was more fun because it felt like the Packers, especially after like the first 9 games, I was like, uh-oh.
Jim, you and I were at that Vikings game at Lambeau Field. It sucked. The stadium was quiet. They didn't even get a first down until right before half. Like, I remember those times in the beginning of that season. Rough.
The end of the season was fun.
Yes.
So basically, what I'm getting at is, I think just because he made it to a divisional game doesn't mean that the next step has to be NFC Championship game. We didn't get there to the divisional round last year. We're missing a very crucial step. Jim, I hate when you bring this up, but it is a good point. We limped into the playoffs the last 2 years. I don't care if the rules change and there's an extra playoff team, like, whatever. That's the rules. That's how we fell into it. Great. The whole idea that Jordan Love needs to win the NFC North first is I think the next real step, because that gives you a home playoff game. And Packer fans, I want nothing more than to make Lambeau like a lockdown stadium in the playoffs. When it's cold, I want that like Brett Favre playoff record back, at least middle of Brett Favre's career. That's what needs to happen. Like, we can't keep going on the road every year in the playoffs and expect to make it past the wild card round into the divisional round. So for me, that next step, and the one that I'm not saying I want this more than the NFC Championship game. However you get there, it just makes that road a little bit easier. You don't have to go on the road and win a playoff game in someone else's house. If you can have that game at home, it makes that road to the NFC Championship game that much easier. If you can win the North, you have a blueprint of how to do it again. That to me is the next step that Jordan Love needs to take. We think about like playoff finishes, and yes, that's what matters. But at the end of the day, no one remembers who lost the NFC Championship game years back. The end of the day, the only thing that matters is getting and winning that Super Bowl. So take those steps. Forget about where you finish in the playoffs. Take the proper steps that get you to that Super Bowl, and that's getting a home field advantage in a playoff game.
Nobody remembers NFC Championship losses. There's quite a few that I remember as a Packer fan.
Oh, as a Packer fan. But if I was going to ask you one that the Packers weren't in from 5 years ago, are you going to be able to pull that one out? Like, not really. You might. You're smart. Like, I think you could. But for the most part, nobody remembers a loser. Nobody remembers my 4th place finish. They only remember that gold medal I got in 2018. Everyone,
We remember.
22 is almost forgotten. No one's even brought that up in like months on this show that I'm a 4th place finisher.
That is funny. Nobody remembers a loser. Yeah, nobody's
That was
buying a
good.
shirt of like NFC. You're not buying the NFC Championship game participant.
Yeah,
shirt.
we're not hanging a banner for NFC Championship runner-up.
Guys, don't you remember what the Indianapolis Colts did?
Indianapolis?
Hey, okay, come on.
That on
we
purpose?
can skip over that part there, Molly, all right? But they did hang a banner, AFC finalists, when they lost the Patriots in like the 2011 AFC
This
Championship
is
game.
Indianapolis.
Yeah,
This
we're
is
not the
Green Bay.
Colts.
Isn't
Yeah,
that what
Felt like Green
the
Bay to
Chargers
me.
put into like their schedule release video
For
about the Vikings?
No,
in
they
the Minecraft?
did it for the Wild. It was a dig
it
at
was
the
them?
Vikings,
Okay.
but it was the Wild
Gotcha.
playoff participant banner.
Gotcha. Okay.
Matt, the other day I had some Liney's Lodge Lime, a Mexican style lager.
Delicious.
So good. I've had it 3 days in a row now. It is so good at Liney's. What Liney's are you enjoying this summer?
Well, that's the best part about Liney's is they've got a flavor for every moment. I had volleyball last night. We had a little summer shandy after it. Right there out on the lake, playing volleyball, picture of summer shandy. You tell me a better summertime scenario, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. Check out Line of Cougars. They got great flavors. They got the original. There's the original light. They've got the Lakeside Cherry, the delicious Mexican lime beer that Jim was just talking about, and my personal favorite, the Juicy Peach. So if you're looking for a delicious Wisconsin beer with that German-inspired brewing tradition, look no further than Line of Kugels. They've got a flavor for every moment. Get them wherever you get delicious beers, and remember, you must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Come on, Matt, you're the fantasy football guy.
I know, but like we're pretty far removed from fantasy last
It
year.
is.
Like,
And honestly, you're into tight ends. Like,
Oh,
I knew how that was gonna sound before I said it, but I didn't mean it like.
okay.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Memorial Day savings are here at Brothers Maine. Shop unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Monogram. Plus, enjoy expert support and free local delivery. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. Our years of experience have prepared us to guide you through your life transitions. Our local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry for the benefit of our clients. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started on your financial future today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For only $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. Plus, it comes with Pizza Hut's very own Ranch Lovers Flight, featuring 3 bold dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry. It's only available for a limited time. Head to a Pizza Hut location or order online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team in 2025. Vote for us every day this month at madisonmagazine.com.
Jason, quick
You
question.
are one of one.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Thank you for helping me prove my point, Molly.
You're
Because
welcome.
my point. Well, is this Matt Hamilton?
Am I not allowed to know the word filibustering?
I just didn't see that coming. That's all.
Good. I want to keep you on your toes.
Jason Wilde is on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Madison's best kept secret for a happy hour, the Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl happy hour. Go over there, say hi to Lee and Kevin and the whole team over at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Tell them that Jim, Matt, and Molly sent you. She's Molly Brown. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Matt Hamilton in the Everlight Solar Studio. Primetime Wollersheim with us as well. And I've delayed enough. We are now thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde. Jason, how you doing on this Tuesday?
I'm great. I'm a physical specimen, remember?
You are. Loved that with LaFleur. Now, we did say on that we know, and obviously everyone in that room knows that like you and LaFleur have a fun relationship, but it still goes back to like the way Matt LaFleur delivered that line. If you didn't know he liked you, it could seem aggressive. And so it's always like he just never is. He just can't. I don't know if he doesn't have a funny bone or like at the podium, like he just can't come across as like a normal person, giving a little bit of talking a little trash there. But we all know that you guys get along. But it was one of those where I'm like, if you're watching this on a national level, like who is Matt LaFleur mad at?
So we added another chapter today. That's why I bring it up. So I asked him a question about Zach Tom, and I said that that you guys had a pec torn pec epidemic last year, and he said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, no, I think you do. I mean, being the physical specimen you are. And then he made some wisecrack. I can't remember the specifics, but I wanted to make the callback to last week. And he's like, well, I'm more of a physical specimen than you. I know I'm that. And I wanted to stand up and say, I didn't want to swear, and I don't want to swear on the radio, but no blank, Sherlock. We do not look alike. I agree. I also don't have $100 a week to spend on my hair and my appearance.
Right.
And you can tell that I don't spend it. You get what you pay for. But yeah, he at least felt compelled this time. So I don't know if he got some feedback from people that, hey, he kind of came across as a jerk to Wilde last week. But he felt like compelled to say, I'm just kidding. And I said, I know you are. Now answer my damn question. So we had some fun again today. I enjoy our back and forth.
Jason, Zach Tom spoke with the media today.
Hi, Molly.
Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm great, and I kind of like how you said that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Zach Tom spoke with you guys in the media today, and he said, I think when I'm at my best, I'm the best in the league, referring to Penei Sewell and Lane Johnson, who got more all-pro votes at right tackle than he did. What else did he say that was interesting, and kind of like what's his mindset going into this next season?
Yeah, good question. So I think we had 6 players. We had Kenny Clark, Keyshawn Nixon, Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Zach Tom, and Romeo Dobbs. And the Romeo Dobbs one was a challenge. He respectfully did not want to talk about his concussions, and he didn't really want to talk about what he learned from not showing up for work last year. But Zach Tom didn't really want to talk about his contract situation. He was asked about why he came, and he feels like he was right. I mean, he said it doesn't really do me any good not to be here because, whether we agree with it or not, Steno said what he said, right? Adam Stenovich, the offensive coordinator, basically saying, yeah, right tackle is open competition too, which I still think is crap. I don't think it's true. I did see Anthony Belton today with the number 2 offense work at right tackle. I still don't believe that he's going to supplant the guy who, despite playing through a weakened right side because of the torn pec he had in the offseason last year, still was one of the best right tackles of the game and does deserve a contract extension. I don't buy that that's a competition. But, I respect the fact that he is coming to work. I thought it was interesting that, he called it a little setback. And I was like, come on, man. Like, we know it wasn't a little setback. Like, playing the offensive line with a torn pec and then not being able to lift all off season and going into training camp and the regular season without adding strength, like, that's a problem. And it did affect how he played, and yet he still played at a high level and he didn't miss a game. Like, he played like 98% of the snaps. So, look, he is a really good player and they need him. Do they need the other 2 guys that are also in contract years? Not as much, I would probably say. But at the same time, like, I did ask him, like, do you guys have like a little support group? You and Rasheed Walker and Sean Ryan, because you're all in the same boat. And he said, it's funny, but we all kind of, it sounds corny, but those are 2 of my best friends. And so he talked about how they, spend a lot of time together. They don't talk about the contract. But I thought it was interesting because my response to him was, that's awesome, but they're not going to sign all 3 of you. So are you kind of savoring this season together with your friends, knowing that you might not be playing together next year? And I think that that's really interesting, that there's that tight bond between those 3 guys because, A, they're all in contract years. B, their positions, at least theoretically, have been put up for competition. And so they are very important to what this team's going to do up front this season.
Jason, I'm gonna throw our poll question at you. I think it's a little aggressive, but here it is. Are they
aggressive?
Yeah, because I said it was. I don't want to lead. I don't want to lead Jason.
Is that just because Jim? Is it just because Jim used the word aggressive earlier? Now you got to. Like, are you doing that? Like, you just want to use a word, the callback, or what?
I'm
Pee Wee Herman style. We all go, whenever we hit word of the day.
Yeah.
You can tell Rutledge that.
I guess I could be a little bit of a parent, but no, I didn't. It was just, when I say aggressive, maybe lofty was the better term to use.
Ooh. I love words.
Is NFC Championship expectations too high for the Packers next season?
No.
No,
I mean I don't necessarily think they're going to get there, but look,
but it's not too high.
No, because expectations, you don't always achieve your expectations, but you should have high expectations, especially these guys, right? Like, so they went 9-8 in 23. They won a playoff game on the road, and they had the 49ers on the ropes until the fourth quarter. And the quarterback threw a couple of interceptions. The kicker missed a field goal he should have made. Like, I don't know. They were a whisker away from playing in an NFC Championship game in Love's first year as a starter. Last year, everybody likes to say, well, they won 2 more games with Love. Well, they didn't really. They won 2 more games as a team, first of all.
My God.
Matt gets so mad at me when I point that out.
I say we when the Packers win on Sunday.
Jordan
right?
Love
so if
does
Jordan
not get
Love
to say
does
that.
it, he doesn't get that same grace.
When Michelle Smallman says that he won.
He didn't play in 2 of them.
Yeah, but he was there.
That's not how quarterback stats
You
work.
played as much as he did.
Yeah, that's why I say we, and I say we. So he should be allowed to as well.
My point is that while all this ridiculous Dan Orlovsky telling us how much smarter he's than the rest of us, discussion about regression is going on. They did not win more games with Jordan Love at quarterback than they did the previous year. They won the same number of games with him starting at quarterback. I don't believe quarterback wins are a stat. My point is that they did not take as big of a jump, whether it's individually with the quarterback or as a team, than you were expecting, and then they lost in a first-round playoff game. They didn't take another step by winning a wild card game and then a divisional game. But they have everybody back virtually. They have all these guys in their third and fourth year who are maturing to the point of being young veterans, but veterans nonetheless. I think that NFC Championship game berth, I'm not saying winning it and going to the Super Bowl, but I think that is a very reasonable thing to expect, because look at and I know some people on the panel were youngsters or maybe not even here yet back during this period. And I know Jim was just rooting for the Bears because that's what he always did from birth. But, look back on the Holmgren, Favre, Reggie White, Ron Wolf era. 92, they don't make the playoffs in Favre's first year as a starter. 93 and 94, they get in the playoffs, they win a playoff game. 95, they win a playoff game, and then they beat the reigning Super Bowl champs, reach the NFC Championship game, have a lead in Dallas, and then lose that game, and then 96, they go to the Super Bowl. There has to, that you want to see a progression. With Rodgers, it was 08, they don't make the playoffs. 09, they make the playoffs, they lose on a fluky ending to the game in a shootout in Arizona. In 10, they go on a run and win the Super Bowl. You want to see progress. And so progress would be winning a division game, playing an NFC Championship game. So I have no problem with that being the lofty/aggressive expectation.
So, Jason, I had another one, totally different. I'm not building on the last question at all. We're past June 1st. Jair Alexander is still on the team. What's up with that?
What's up with that? Look, I know you guys were the first ones that I talked about this with because I've used it since. But I think this is exactly what I told you guys. I can't remember if Jim was off for his birthday or something, but this is the idea of him coming to the minicamp next week. He was not there today, so if there was a plan for him to show up even before that, that was not executed. He also did not sign an altered contract so he could participate because they do not want him out there with his contract as it is currently written. It is a power play move by him. I know that sounds crazy, but it is essentially, I'm going to show up for the mandatory minicamp, so A, I don't get fined, and B, so if you guys don't want me out there under a $16 million base salary, you better sweeten the deal that you're offering me, because I'm coming, and you can't keep me off the field. It's against the CBA. So it is finally we are reaching potentially, I certainly am not going to say certainly, but potentially we're finally going to hit the bewitching hour where we find out what his fate will be. And look, we know that he loves his teammates and his teammates love him, that his teammates want him back. Keyshawn Nixon talked about it today, I'm sure. I wasn't in that group. I was talking to Romeo Dobbs at the time. But look, they want him back. But Brian Gutekunst does not want him back at $16 million. And if they can negotiate a contract that protects the team from him having injury problems and still makes him feel whole in terms of what he knows he's getting and then what he can earn back, then he's going to be a Packer. But the pendulum has swung so much. We went from people saying he will not be on this team next year, to now people kind of looking at it like, well, it's just a matter of crossing the T's and dotting the I's and he'll be a Packer. I don't think that's true, because otherwise, what the hell's the holdup now, right? The offer's on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they want the pay cut. So if it was as simple as that, then I feel like we would have seen him today, and we didn't.
So, I guess, where do you...
It almost leaves me with more questions.
Well, it's more of like, at some point, Jair has to feel slighted or to say, you know what, pay me what I'm owed or let me go find a team and I'll bet on myself. And maybe I won't make the money now, but I will make it up. Because he's not that far removed. There are championship-level teams. I think the Chiefs, the Rams, other teams need cornerbacks. And if he's let go, he's going to get picked up. And if he plays for... Let's say he goes to the Chiefs and they go back to the Super Bowl and he's healthy throughout the year. He's lining himself up for a massive payday. Are the Packers prepared to lose him, or do they just think that, like, hey, he's going to do what we want him to do because that's what we want?
Yeah, I have no idea what his market is. Like, I would hope, and again, I'm lucky, whether it was the State Journal before or Channel 3000 now and ESPN Wisconsin now, like, I don't have to deal with all the agent BS. Like, the expectation is not, hey, you got to be talking to these guys and buttering them up all the time, because that is a part of the job that I can't imagine sucking up to these guys. It's just has to be so exhausting. And so I would assume that John Thornton is out there talking to teams, even though he's not supposed to, finding, all right, what would if you wanted up my guy, what would you pay him? How would you structure a deal? Because if it's going to be a push, then he has to decide basically what's better: being with my guys, my Keyshawn Nixon, Xavier McKinney, that crew, in a place that I know, I've got a house, all that other stuff, or is it better to get a fresh start, play somewhere else, and if the money's going to be about the same, and I have an opportunity to ball out and make myself a ton more money with this new team and enjoy the fresh start, would I rather have that? That's a decision only he can make. But again, I think it's important to note that if this was such a simple slam dunk and always coming back, then why hasn't he signed the contract and he's here, right? Like, I understand why Elton Jenkins isn't here, but otherwise, like, if you're planning on coming back anyway, you might as well get to work. So I just think this is, as Tausch likes to say, still a lot unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield.
Perfect way to end there, Jason. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I think he'll sign, but I think this could get a little cantankerous.
I think it depends on this Jair contract first, though. And they need to do something before June 6th or June 1st or something.
It's June 1st.
6th is just like a funny date.
Because they're all weird dates. It stuck on my head. That's my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday, Daddy.
Jair has to be signed
by my dad's birthday.
That's the way the league works.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube. Rah! Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at StarionBank.com. Member FDIC. Among the Badger greats, basketball legend Frank Kaminsky, one of the next 12 to enter the UW Athletics Hall of Fame, the 2015 National Player of the Year, on what the honor means.
It means the culmination of my career here as a Badger, and just kind of like a reminder of how special it was. And you like to see your hard work and all that stuff pay off, and to be honored in this way, to go into the Athletic Hall of Fame, it's extremely special.
Celebrate Kaminsky's achievement and much more at the Made 'em Believe event June 26th. More info at uwhoops2015.com.
What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Pella has a product line for every budget.
No interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Live the high life and get into the nitty-gritty, home of the award-winning Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Enjoy a full menu including sandwiches, specialty burgers, wraps, salads, and weekend brunch. With the family-friendly environment, it's a great place to watch the big game. Plus, they've got Miller High Life Power Hour specials daily. Located in downtown Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The nitty-gritty, a tradition since 1968. Also enjoy high life at Bar Coralini, Paradise Lounge, and Jordan's Big Ten Pub.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Wisconsin has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. VFW State Adjutant Adam Wallace.
Local is always important because we want to engage with our community and support local businesses. You know, we are local to Madison and they are too.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company. The benefit?
The benefit is having reliable equipment, having a reliable way to print documents.
James Imaging Systems, local service you just can't get anywhere else.
The customer service is great, and if an issue, when it rarely arises, they're very quick to fix it.
That's another benefit for the VFW.
It's just one less thing that we need to worry about as an organization.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
Continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown. Primetime more shine behind the glass. Jason Wilde just joined the show. You can stream that or listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app. You can see us on the YouTube, ESPN Madison YouTube stream, and you can chime in on our talk and text line 844-770-3776. That's our Carbos talk and text line. List is more. Our siding and limited poll question are NFC Championship expectations too high for the Packers next season? And right now, 58% of you say too high, although Rip and Rona chimed in and said, I feel like the last two seasons had happened in reverse. Then NFC Championship game or bust should be the take. But they didn't. And then he does the classic all-fan base cop-out. I definitely think it's possible, but it's not bad if they don't make it.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but, like, you got to pick a lane. It's fine for Rip, but, like, you're a radio host. You have to set an expectation and then
I have an opinion.
Have an opinion.
Well, my opinion is the next step for the Packers is win the North.
All right, there you go.
Is that a next step for this year, or is that a
expectation?
next year?
I think they can do that this year.
Tell us about your opinion on Odyssey.
Well, I mean, I love cheese. You don't get this physique without loving cheese, baby. I tell you what, Odyssey makes some of the best feta cheese around. It's all the milk source for it is made right here in Wisconsin. I got to go down to Monroe and see the factory. Amazing. Feta is absolutely a wild product. It's brined in like a salt water. It's fantastic addition to any like salad, or if you're going with like a gyro or something, like you can't beat it. And the best part about Odyssey right now is they have so many amazing flavors. The tomato basil feta, the peppercorn feta, the Mediterranean herb feta, and my favorite, the sweet heat feta. You can't go wrong. And I mean, obviously the originals are always good too, but mix it up a little bit. Spice up your life. Variety is the spice of life. So check out Odyssey. Get some of their feta. you can find it anywhere you go grocery shopping because Odyssey's nationwide, baby. So get Odyssey if you're looking to support local, eat delicious Wisconsin-made cheese, and you want a little Greek flair in your life. That's Odyssey Brands.
We're going to have Jesse Nelson and Matt Hamilton, kind of a contest here. Who's more responsible for the Brewers' success? This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. That's coming up next.
Spicy.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking Zoa Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. Zoa is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has 0 sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZoaEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some Zoa for yourself. Zoa Energy for balance and drive.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
9 minutes of fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. Packers OTA practices continuing up in Green Bay earlier today, and there's also the second and final available media OTA session. Jason Wilde in attendance there. You could listen back to his appearance just now on Jim, Matt, and Molly. Listen back to that on the ESPN Wisconsin app. But speaking at those player sessions was also Matt LaFleur speaking about his right tackle, Zach Tom, with plenty of questions about Jair Alexander and Elton Jenkins not attending OTAs while waiting for new contracts. LaFleur commended Tom for attending while also competing for his starting job at right tackle.
I think that tells you how much it means to him, and you always want everybody here this time of the year, and understanding that it is voluntary, but that means a lot. I know for me it means a lot to me.
Head over to ESPN.com for more from Packers reporter Rob Demovsky about Tom, Kenny Clark, and others had to say at media availability earlier today. Brewers pregame coming up at 5:34. First pitch 6:10 p.m.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team in 2025 on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
Pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
And then Contrarian.
Total. Yeah.
Jim Rutledge here.
It's Murr.
I'm the flower, Mr.
Mister.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's possible.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
Hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly. I'm Jim Rutledge. We are presented by Coors Light. The Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I do have the power alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. You can stream us with the ESPN Wisconsin app. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. You can get into the show, 844-770-3776. On the Carbos Talking text line, list is more. You can chime in on the Siding Unlimited poll question. Right now, we are asking, are NFC Championship expectations too high for the Packers next season? 55% of you say fair, and the rest of you say too high. And Joe M. on Twitter says, God save me, I sided with a Bears fan, because I reposted it with the meme from Major League. They go, too high. It's too high when we're referencing a home run. And what better way to transition into talking about baseball, as we are the home for Brewers baseball here on ESPN Madison.
Sounds of summer.
The pregame starts at 5:34. We have an abbreviated show here today. 6:10 first pitch. The Brewers are streaking, and we have a little inter-show standoff, show-off, if you will, as far as...
Is it a credit off? Who
credit
gets credit?
off?
Yeah,
Jinx
credit.
off.
Jinx off? Ooh,
Now I
anti-jinx
just keep on
off.
thinking
Yeah.
of the Barbie movie where they're like, it's a beach off. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So Ryan doesn't get upset. But
I haven't seen that movie enough times to know. I've seen it once.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I saw it the one time. I don't remember exactly what about the beach scene was.
We all just gave you a courtesy laugh then, if you
Yeah.
because I think we were all like, yeah,
I just wanted the listeners to know it was funny.
yeah.
So all three of you are missing out. Like, it's an elite movie. But
It's a great movie. I just saw it the one time. I don't remember.
So there's a scene, and it was in the previews as well, where all the Kens are on the beach, and they're like, they want to have like a competition who's best at beach. So Ken would be like, I challenge you to a beach off. And the other guy's like, nobody beaches off better than me. I want to beach you off. And so but it's beach off. And they do this whole thing about who's going to beach who off. And
Can
who's
you
the
cut
best at
that when
beaching
Jim just
off.
said, I'm going to beat you off?
No, I think we should just hear what Jesse Nelson had to
All
say,
right, let's
honestly.
let's get to the beach off between Matt Hamilton and Jesse Nelson. The baseball off between Matt Hamilton and Jesse Nelson. Let's hear Jesse.
So this is Jesse Nelson, who yesterday you might have heard Matt Hamilton during our Conspiracy Corner edition of Throwing Stones.
Matt's tinfoil hat.
Yeah, Matt, you're taking credit for the Brewers all of a sudden turning things around because you questioned them. Not questioned, you just flat out said they play boring
I just
baseball.
said it was boring baseball early in May.
Okay. And since then, what's happened to the Brewers?
Riveting baseball.
Riveting.
Yeah.
You have
Electric.
Any of those stats you had yesterday? You got those pulled up still?
No, I put that notebook back at your desk after I stole it to write the notes out.
Perfect.
Take that for data.
Glad you're able to do your homework. But Jesse Nelson, the day after, Matt, you made that statement about the Brewers playing boring baseball, had to bring up a question on Wilde and Tausch questioning a certain manager's job security.
I brought this up on Saturday, and some of our teammates, we were out at a little event. We were all golfing the other night and at the range place. I'm not suggesting this, but when I brought this notion up, I got death stares. Like, how dare you? And I don't think that's reasonable. How long do we give reigning NL Manager of the Year, Pat Murphy, to figure this thing out before we start to question him the same way we question Fickle, LaFleur, Doc?
So, since then, they've been giving Jesse the majority of the credit for the Brewers' turnaround over the last 2 weeks, including
Who's
their 8-game win. Mark Tauscher, namely.
Rubbish.
Jesse giving himself credit. Surprise, surprise.
What?
But yes, apparently a lot of people are saying that Jesse's the one who lit the fire under the Brewers and Pat Murphy to get this team turned around. Matt, what do you think?
That's bupkis. That's wrong. Jesse said they were done. Jesse said that the guy's job's on the line. Like,
well,
it is still May in baseball season. I was not calling for heads to roll. I was just saying it was boring baseball.
Well, let's hear your take.
Maybe
soon we'll hear my take.
I asked Ryan if he had it, but I didn't see.
I am
how long.
fine
There we go.
losing baseball games. That happens. Putting up goose eggs is boring. Like, if you want to provide fun, let's lose 11 to 10. But this is terrible baseball. I stand by that. It was terrible baseball, and the Brewers clearly heard me.
So Pat Murphy heard you, not Jesse Nelson, is what you're saying.
So you just manifested more hits.
I manifested positivity. Jesse was negative. I was just like, you guys were boring right now. This needs to change. And I gave them the blueprint to be more entertaining, and that's score more runs. I'm glad they heard that.
So what do you think Jesse gave him the blueprint for? Calling for Pat Murphy's job? Well, he didn't call for Pat Murphy's job. He was just saying, when do we start to have a conversation?
He was saying it should be on the block.
That's in his mind.
But by the way, he brought up at the beginning of his statement that he was out at an event with some teammates. I was at said event. It was our digital content specialist Pablo's 30th birthday that we were all attending, golfing together. Jesse, upon hearing the Brewers had fallen, I think, behind 6-0 that night against the Twins or whoever they were playing, was so excited to bring up this notion to us of, guys, I'm starting to hear people are rumbling, people are whispering.
Who are the people?
The voices in his head.
His dad, the former usher at Miller Park.
When do we start talking about Pat Murphy's job, right, guys? We did it with Ron Renicky or whoever the guy was. Jim, who was the manager in the early 2000s? The Brewers manager?
Phil Gardner?
Not Phil Gardner. Is another guy who went on
Ned
to some
Yost?
success. Ned Yost, yes.
Some success, you won a World Series.
Yes, and that's the point that Jesse brought up. We did it with Ned Yost. All of a sudden, he was just hearing this earlier in the day, and then now all of a sudden he just has facts and stats and background research to bolster his argument now. Yes, Jesse was excited to just stir the pot. Matt Hamilton simply wanted to reinvigorate this team.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think my method is more receptive than saying, like, this guy who just won Manager of the Year is he should be on the hot seat. I wasn't saying that. I was like, guys, it can be better.
So what's Jesse's theory that, like, what?
He thinks he's the reason that it turned around.
He's on such a big show. They must have heard him on Williams'
And
house.
then Pat Murphy's like, I guess I got to manage it better now?
I guess. I don't know. The Brewers started playing for their coach's job, apparently.
I might be biased, but I'm on Matt's side. His is more realistic. His conspiracy is more realistic.
Thank you. I'm a nut.
Yeah, and also, like, the Brewers are cheap. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there was talks about, like, I think that Yost's contract just expired, though. I don't know about Renicky. Like, I don't think they're a team that wants to be paying multiple coaches. So,
wait, do you mean, like, Ned Yost's contract with the Brewers just expired?
No, I mean, like,
at the time.
When they just, like, happened to expire.
I was going to say, that's a heck of a buyout.
No, I would say that my point is, like, I think they just let him walk. Like, they're not the Bucks. They're not trying to pay multiple coaches.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah,
so, like, I just think that, like, Atanasio's cheap, so I would imagine if nothing else, like, that was kind of the knock on Murphy. They're like, all right, you're here, we pay you pennies on the dollars what we had to pay Council. Like, I can put more money towards my soccer team. I feel like that was a big selling point for Atanasio.
Do you think Jesse would divert money from Williams' house to, like, his dog to try and help light a fire under their show? Or how do you think Jesse would light a fire?
What? What is his dog at?
Well, because he cares about Mo. He talks about his dog on the show like half the week, I feel like.
I need to listen more. Also, I want to say this before I tell you about J&K Security Solutions. I think Jesse, he tried to get jury duty. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I've never, like, I've been called in a few times. I don't even make it through, like, the first, like, they're usually like, all right, you can go home. Like, you get there and you're like, all right, you're done. Go home. I think my wife had to go twice, but she didn't actually have to serve on a jury. And, like, I've been called in, like, 3 or 4 times. She, like, it's highly uncommon that you're getting sequestered and, like...
This is kind of baloney because I am, like, the only person that has been requesting to be on a jury, and I have not gotten a form in the mail. Not once. My husband even got one this past year.
You're jinxing yourself.
Yeah. I want to be on a jury so bad.
Why?
Let the jinx happen.
Why?
I want to be on a murder trial, you guys.
Okay.
I am obsessed.
That means that murder happened in Dane County.
Okay,
or,
I mean...
I don't know if you serve where you're from or where.
Okay,
like,
murders... Okay, I don't want a murder to happen, but, like, I want to be on a high profile
bring a
case.
murderer to justice.
Like, oh my God! The
You
OJ
watch
trial
too
was a little.
much of
The OJ
that.
trial was a little too extreme because it's like they had to stay in like a hotel room for like 6 months by themselves. That would suck. But give me one for like 3 days. I'm good.
So you just
I'm good. I'll plug in my phone. I'll do the show from the courthouse, you guys.
Yeah, you just want a break from your family.
No.
And
I really
just want to get murdered to do so.
No. I just want to determine someone's fate.
Do you guys think
Molly is sick of you having the power, Jim? Molly wants the
So
power.
what she really wants is for my murder trial.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
No, don't manifest.
This
We're
is your
talking
host,
about
Molly
manifesting.
Brown, on Matt and Molly.
And Ryan's
Got a nice ring to it.
Actually, was it Ryan?
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
I can go find a new shirt soon if you want me to, Mom.
35
Sounds
years,
great.
J&K has been Madison's trusted name in security. Security. Whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, they're your one-stop shop for all things security. At J&K, customer service is their top priority, and your peace of mind is always their mission. Visit them today at jksecurity.com and experience the J&K difference. Your home, your business, their priority. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Like, winning teams could talk trash.
Yeah, but we're
Giannis
not,
talks trash.
Maybe we're not good enough to be talking trash.
Or maybe it's not your personality.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
Yeah, I'm not tight either.
I'm not tight at all. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
Ben Johnson?
I'm so loose right now.
We don't know. I don't know who he is. I have no idea what he is.
I'm not tight.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Memorial Day savings are here at Brothers Maine. Shop unbeatable deals on top brands like GE Appliances, Cafe, Hotpoint, and Monogram. Plus, enjoy expert support and free local delivery. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
And now for the Pella Play-by-Play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
To...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
The Home Depot has fast, free delivery on the perfect gift to help Dad do more this Father's Day. Because Dad is more than just a dad. He's groundskeeper of the yard, the perfecter of the patio, and the cleaner of the clippings. Power Dad's doing with Ryobi cordless outdoor power tools from the Home Depot. Like the Ryobi 40-volt string trimmer kit for $159. For everything Dad is, find the perfect gift at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable. Silverado. Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble. Tracks. Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light, a finalist for Best of Madison Radio Team in 2025. Vote for us every day this month at MadisonMagazine.com.
Man, I got this swag. My head to my bag. You know I'm popping tag. But man, I got this swag. Man, I got this swag. My head to my bag. You know I'm popping tag.
a winner. Winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. Molly Brown, Jim Rutledge, and Matt Hamilton with you in the Everlight Solar Studio alongside Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. And it's time to throw some stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
That was cooler than being cool. Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
All right, and I do have a stone to throw. More of a suggestion, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. As the news is up on ESPN, and it is that the Knicks have fired Tom Thibodeau. I am a huge Tom Thibodeau fan. I think it's a huge mistake for the Knicks to fire Tom Thibodeau. He led the team to their first Eastern Conference Finals since the 2000 season. He's made the playoffs, I believe, every year he was with the Knicks. He was a winner at Minnesota. He was a winner at Chicago. All different types of teams. Some teams more ready to win than others. Some teams with stars, some teams without. He's got his flaws. He is very hard on his players, but his players love playing for him, at least for a while. But I think they do. Jimmy Butler followed him around for a while. Taj Gibson followed him around for a while. Joakim Noah followed him around for a while. So his players do seem to want to play for him year over year. I think the Milwaukee Bucks, they're not going to fire Doc, but they can promote him into the front office, whether it's, I don't know if president of basketball operations or something like some sort of title is available. Maybe give John Horst some sort of help as a GM, because I think John Horst GMs the same way I would. Like if I was running NBA 2K. Like going to get Drew Holiday and Dame Lillard is not like huge foresight. Like I'm glad he did it, but it's not like Presti with OKC or the Indiana.
They're not a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, we're not finding Tyrese Halliburton as like a nice player and then having him turn into like a fringe elite player and Shea after 1 year being like, and then have that guy turn into an MVP. There's no history of John Horst finding a guy being like, oh, he's all right, and then turning into elite. It's like, we all could go get Drew Holiday. So maybe, I'm not saying Doc would be great at it, but like just put Doc in the front office, you could justify paying him, and bring in Thibodeau. One, he brings a level of respect I think Giannis would get behind. I think the way that Thibs likes to coach, I think the Bucks and I think Giannis would love, Bucks fans would love. And he's got a Midwest sensibility to him. He coached the Bulls and the Timberwolves. And the other part of it is if they do move off Giannis, he's proven that he can win with young players and get, at a bare minimum, he's a floor lifter. The question for him is, can he win a title? But I'll die on this hill. Tom Thibodeau has proven more in his career than Mike Budenholzer proved before he got to Milwaukee. I think Thibodeau's a better coach than Budenholzer. Budenholzer just had a better roster. Okay. And so I think Thibs coming in has every bit of the optimism you would have had under Doc or under Budenholzer that you'd have under Thibs to go win a title with Thibs.
So am I crazy? And I could be. I've heard Thibodeau and Thibodeau.
I thought it was Thibodeau. I don't know.
And I've heard Tibbs, and then yours. I just don't know. I was just curious.
I just going to how I hear him on Chicago Sports Radio.
I mean, it's spelt Thibodeau. I've heard it a couple times.
Ryan?
ESPN National.
Give me 1 second.
All right.
Either way, I mean, I don't hate the idea. The downside is, regardless of what you do with Doc, I think next year is the last year. If you did move on from Doc entirely and brought in Tom, I'm not even going to go with the last name. If you brought him in, technically the Bucks would be paying 4 coaches.
Well, want to be promoted up. So
yeah, like what he just said. Mm-hmm.
And I think next year's the last year of Adrian Griffin's.
God knows their contracts. I don't know.
Who knows about Bud? I mean, Bud has to be close to the end, right?
There's probably
He's already done with the Phoenix Suns.
There's probably offset language in his that when he got paid by Phoenix, it probably offsets what the Bucks had to pay him.
Maybe.
That sometimes
I would hope.
That's sometimes in place. Yeah.
That's typically how it works with college coaches, yeah.
Either way, I'm with you. I think a tough coach could elevate because I think Giannis wants to be tough, like with his teammates, but there's also like that fine line where you got a toe of being like a friend and an ally in the locker room as well as a vocal team leader who might push somebody outside of their comfort zone to be better. And a coach like that, I feel like could be really beneficial. And with Doc, if he stays around, like you're saying, if you promote him and bring in Thibs,
Double T,
you're still gonna have that. Like Doc's still gonna be with the players, and you'll get that like experience and leadership from a former player in Doc, and then you can have that like hard-nosed coach who's gonna say things that are gonna make you uncomfortable and push you out of your comfort zone and probably make you a better player and raise that floor like you're saying. So I like the idea of it. I don't know how feasible it really is, but in principle, I think it's a fun idea, and I think it would help the Bucks significantly.
So just what I'm seeing here, I don't think the Bucks are paying Budenholzer or anything. I think it's now the Suns.
Okay.
And Griffin was paid $12 million. That's being split out over the next over the 3 years. So
this is
last year,
this
year,
upcoming year is the
next
last year of paying him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So
I don't
that's
know.
good.
Well, you give your answer, and I'll tell you what they're paying Doc.
Well, I mean, I just have a question, I guess. Do you guys think that Giannis wants to have a coach like him? That'd be my biggest concern. And like, is Giannis a player that actually wants to be coached in the way that you were just saying, Matt? Like, I understand he wants to go to another level. I get that. But then there's also this question. Does Thibodeau want to come here if Giannis isn't here? I mean, we've talked about this with players. Why wouldn't it be the same thing with a coach? I mean, look at where else he can go. He's got Denver, right? Denver's open. What other places fired their coaches?
Didn't they officially hire their
they did, yeah.
assistant?
Did they?
Molly, so to the Giannis thing, Giannis, he's obviously the star. I think he would love a guy like Thibs to come in and push the rest of the guys in that like hard nose, because Giannis can't be that guy and your ally and buddy in the locker room. You can't do both. So he could get that out of Thibs, and then he can still be that fun, goofy Giannis that's like a good teammate, a hard worker, and leads by example.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's a fun thought process.
Look, it's Stones. I wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, don't quote us.
I would like it. Don't quote me.
Listen back, Wisconsin on Demand, Apple, Spotify, and those great places. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly.
See ya.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner.